what's been on my mind constantly that I keep having moments and just going wahaha to myself. Your tiny stool that you've got in the salon that you bought thinking was a normal size stool, it keeps popping into my head like randomly throughout the day, and I'm like,
Every time I look at it, I'm like, I got caught out. I thought I was buying a stool that was going to be beside the clients in front of the fire. They can put a tea or coffee on it. And then it came in the post, and I was like, what is this tiny little box? When it came in the post, I opened it up. The stool is the size of the mic. Like,
yeah.
it's absolutely tiny. And you and Sandra both said the same thing. You were like, put a plant on it. It'll look lovely. So that's what's after happening. But my absolute disappointment when I saw it, like I thought it was going to be this little country style stool. And I showed you when you were down at the salon, and I thought you were going to wet yourself.
Oh, and I'm still wetting myself like daily just thinking about it because it's just so funny. And do you know, it makes me laugh even more because I remember years ago my sister bought something on Marketplace, and it was like a dresser, like drawers. They call them Duchess over here. But yeah,
Do
some
they?
drawers. And so she got her husband to drive. I think it was about a 2.5 drive away to go and collect them. And she sent him off to go and collect them. She was so excited, and he was furious because they were for a doll's house.
No. Oh my God. I bet if we put that out there for people to email in stories like
Oh
that,
my God.
they would be quite funny ones, because that is way worse than my stool. At least my stool didn't cost that much. At least it's still functioning. And if I got it delivered. I didn't drive anywhere to pick it up. If I drove 2.5 hours one way to pick up something for someone and it ended up being for a doll's house, I would be well annoyed as well, to be quite frank.
Oh, well,
Well
yeah, if
annoyed.
anyone else has had an experience like this, let us know because it's absolutely hilarious. And I was thinking this because we get quite a lot of messages from our listeners. It would be quite cool to have like a bit of a, show and tell time
Yeah.
on an episode. So if you've got any funny stories, send us a message, Instagram, through the website, however you want. And let us know, and we will share it on the podcast because it's funny.
I'll put a picture of the stool up on Instagram when I'm back in the salon next week. It's quite funny. It's actually quite a cute stool, but it's definitely not what I was looking for. And I did get quite the shock, but not as bad as your sister's husband. Man, that's terrible. Yeah, email us in your
I
story or
know, no
message
wonder
on
they divorced.
Instagram. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, no wonder I would divorce her too. Imagine that
Talking
phone
of
call.
Instagram, you are?
Imagine that phone call. Imagine calling her up and being like, so, like, I brought
It's
a
miniature.
trailer and it fits in the glove box. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Maybe well fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah, talking of Instagram, um, I've had one of those weeks, it must be the menstrual cycle of things, where I'm just so distracted all the time and, the energy levels are low, procrastination is high. And yeah, I just kind of just thought I was, looking on, how I hate going on Instagram and stuff and just, just saturated with content. It's just everywhere and you feel guilty, you feel like you're not doing enough. But it also kind of got me thinking, like with a lot of the work that I do, how just people really want fast insight so they can make a decision. And yeah, so I decided to give our Instagram a total glow up. So if you head over to our Instagram, we've got these really cool covers across, well, as many reels as I could do because I kind of got bored and then stopped. But it's just a way to, if there is a funny reel of ours that you want to rewatch or looking for something entertaining, you can quickly find it because I've got a title for them all. So they're really easy to find. So go and have a look.
I love that that's what you do when you're saying that you're procrastinating. I love that. You
I
always
know.
double down on the podcast stuff when you're procrastinating, because you're procrastinating on actually what pays you. Like,
Yeah.
and then I went on Instagram. I only saw it like this morning or something, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And then I was like, "Oh crap, she's going to want me to do that now as well." I was like, "Oh God, I have to, I have to level up." And this week, I'm just like, like yourself, we're just being torn in many directions, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to add that now. I'm going to have to get her to show me where the hell she's editing this and doing this. And I was like, oh crap, but it looks really good. I love it, but oh crap.
I know. Well, it's like because I did the covers for our YouTube videos as well. So, I just think we're just slowly, one step at a time, leveling up. It's that whole thing that we talk about all the time of making like one small change in the direction of where you want to go. And it's the same with that, like a Reels cover or a YouTube video cover is, just that extra bit of polish that's getting us closer to this being a full-time gig, which is what we want.
Absolutely, because you're dead right about the saturation. I went against what I've said on podcasts before this week, and I was a little bit I just have a lot going on at work life and personal life at the moment, so I'm just quite blah. So in the morning when it's usually my really productive time, I found myself scrolling, and I can that oh my god, it just sucks you in and it
Yeah.
spits you back out again. And I can see, like, I mean, I even saved a couple of things, and like, I can see what you mean. It's so saturated on certain topics, and I got sucked in, I got spat out, and this week has just not been my most productive. It's funny because I'm so tired,
Mm.
but I was scrolling. Like we definitely have to limit that scrolling, people, because this week was not okay scrolling that much. I can see how people get run down massively. Oh my god. And the shit that's on there is unbelievable. I mean, obviously it's attracted to me because that's what it does, right? But yeah, it is crazy out there. And I'm really glad when I saw, like, I'm really glad you did what you did, because it is easier just to aim and fire at things that genuinely interest you. But you know what, Sharon? I just didn't have my car this week. I am just not feeling the same. Oh, and I don't have my car. We've been through this before when the car was in the garage. Remember, I blew it up, as we all know, back in the summer. Um, this week, last week, at the start of the week, I don't even know what day it is. It overheated, and I said to Sandra, I was like, "Oh, the red thing came on. It went off again, but it did come on." He's like, "Grania,
The
is that
red
my?"
thing.
Well, the engine light's always on, right? We're just used to that. Um, and he was like, Grania, it was like -10 this morning. Like, if your car is overheating on -10, there's something wrong. I was like, oh crap. So I dropped it off at the garage, and I just texted the mechanic and I said, listen, I'll keep driving it if I don't drop it off. So once again, I've not been able to listen to my podcasts or my books or have that downtime, because it's physically the only time that I'm not with another human being. And I'm so grateful that obviously I've got Tara in the salon. She passes my house going to work. I've jumped in with her. She's the coolest chick. So, best case scenario by far. But I still feel bad because that's also her time in her car.
Yeah, but
So
it's
I
not
can't.
forever.
Yeah, but it really throws me. Like, it really
Yeah.
throws my energy not having that, like, downtime. And I really noticed it. My God, isn't that just so sad that I actually that's what keeps me level? It's a fucking car journey by myself.
No, but it's like a lot of people, like a lot of people that commute. Um, their downtime is the train, when they don't have to think and they can like listen to something or read a book. I remember a friend back home used to work, she used to um be a teacher, but for some, I don't know how to word it, troubled children that have had a really extremely troubled upbringing. And it was quite emotionally scarring. And she used to say, then she had to go home to her husband and her kids. And she used to say, if I didn't have that train ride in between where I can switch between people, she's like, I don't know how I'd cope. Like, you do need some way of switching characters because you essentially are. I mean, especially you in the salon, you're very much the hairdresser character. And it's funny because I really saw that because I don't see you in the hair salon anymore. I really noticed it when I came over the other week to get my hair done. You were kind of like a different person when we were in the salon, and I was like, "Oh, who's this?" And it's Gráinne the hairdresser. Whereas I see Gráinne, my best friend that I have phone calls at 6 a.m. with. It's a different person that I normally talk to.
You see the crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
That's who you see. And I was actually quite excited about my car journeys this week because it is kind of my mind time, like for the podcast too. And I was so excited because it's our 70th episode. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'll come up with some ideas for our 70th episode. No, we're winging it today, people, because my brain is fried. I'm surprised. Maybe we couldn't do like, effects on the thing of like steam coming out my ears of the last of my brain cells just popping on fire. Pop, 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 pop.
Do you remember though, I think it was our first episode, we did sound effects because we saw that mancoon walk across the garden and I put like a tiger roaring in that place. And we got so many comments from people saying, it sounds like the bins are going out. You should really get rid of that noise. And I was like, no, that was a special effect. That was supposed to be a lion.
And we thought we were fucking amazing. We were like, oh my
I
God,
know.
can
We
you
were
hear
like, how easy is this?
that was a trial and error pretty quickly off
Yeah.
the mark at the very start. That's for sure.
First episode.
I know. And I mean, you said even coming on here, which I was really surprised at, like, because this week I just with not having a car, like I'm so dependent on lifts. So the podcast, like usually I'll stay back behind in the salon and do it in that environment because then it's done before I come home and go into this environment. And because I had to cancel on Charlotte this week when to do the podcast. And like I was quite surprised. Today you were like, you know what? I nearly could have just missed a week. And I was like, what the fuck? You never say things like that. So I was like, right, that's it. Let's just do it. Let's just wing it. Let's go. Let's go crazy. We're fine. We're showing up, people.
I
And
know.
for the 70th.
I was very close to the dropping the mic moment of just, do you know what? We're running out of time. Let's just not bother. 70th episode. Let's not even bother bloody showing up.
We're skipping straight on to 71, people.
Yeah.
We're very different now, though, because before I feel like because we were getting used to it, we might have actually skipped it. But now all we had to do is just come on and just get cracking. And we're fine once we're into it. It's like anything, right? You're fine once you're into it. It's like procrastination. It's like the Mel Robbins thing. I actually found out the whole Mel Robbins theory of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 recently. I don't really listen to a lot of Mel Robbins. Obviously, I think she's amazing. And I hear a lot of people's stories because they listen to her. So when they come to the salon, they tell me. But I actually intentionally went in to find out more about Mel. Mel, my friend Mel. And
yeah, you mate.
I found out her 5232, and I've used it a few times. She said she was crippled with depression and anxiety and found it really hard to get out of bed. And she, the longer you linger in bed, the longer the more the anxiety actually creeps in. And then it gets harder and harder to get out of bed and to deal with the day. And they said, I think they were 800,000 in debt. They had small kids, and she was just suffering big time. And then one morning, she could hear the TV in the distance, and it was a rocket taking off. It was the news. And very slowly, it was 5, 4, 3, 2. And as the rocket took off, she just fucking crawled out of bed. She just crawled out from underneath the covers onto the ground and rolled her way and just got up. And she just said it felt good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I thought that was, so simple, but so effective.
Yeah. It always is simple, though, isn't it?
Always. Oh, and same with her let them theory. It's so simple and so effective. And I feel like
that's actually not her theory, by the way. She took that from someone else.
Fucking gossip. Wow.
I can't remember who, but I saw this whole thing on it, and there was this woman in the 60s that wrote a book on it, and she was very famous for it. So she's kind of just rebirthed it, but it's not hers.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are very grateful that she has rebirthed it then. To be fair. But okay. Well, she has a great way with words, so at least she's helping people get it put in front of them, basically. But same with the podcast today. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Just fucking go. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, so there you go. There's my rant. Actually, I don't even know where the rant was going. Oh my god, my head! Quickly, get the
I know.
speakerphone
I'm like,
out my
we were
ears.
talking about the 70th episode.
Yes, we were. No, we're having fun. Are you having fun? We're having fun. I think we're continuing.
Always having fun.
Yeah, honestly,
It's like,
people are shocked sometimes, like that. We're still doing it. Like, we had a cool meeting with someone recently, and she was well
yes.
impressed that not only are we showing up every week, like we don't have a team, we're editing it, and she was a cool lady. She deals with a lot of podcasts. She's also someone that edits. What you call? Help my
Well,
brain out.
an editor.
Yeah.
An editor.
I'm like, surely there's a more professional word. And she was just quite impressed that like we were doing this with full time jobs and all of that carry on. So I'm very proud of the two of us, and I don't think we're stopping anytime soon. So let's fucking
No,
go.
well, yeah, like we said, each like stage of our journey doing this podcast is just the little improvements. We started doing video at the start of the year. We did the goal challenge. We've just done the manifest challenge that's still going. People can still join. And yeah, we've hit 70 weeks. Like that's, I think, it's exhausting when I think about that. 70. um, and even like you said to me earlier, you were like, what's for our 70th episode? Like, what is it you think you've learned the most? And I think a mixture of pain and patience.
With me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just fitting something new into your life, and it becomes like anything, it becomes like a habit and it becomes normal. But I'm quite regimented, very organized person, and I don't know when we're going to record until probably like a few hours before, because you're like, right, I have some time, let's do it, and I'm like, okay, I'll just juggle everything. That's been interesting but fun as well, because it's kind of broken my OCD-ness of having everything planned out and organized.
Whereas I'm the opposite
And I
end. I'm trying to have everything planned and organized, and it's like, oh my God. Whew. All my days are just like boom, 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 boom. So I think we're rubbing off on each other though, because I think we both need that. Like I
yeah.
definitely needed to be more regimented, and to be fair, your regiment, like trying to, you know, it's nice to learn how to maneuver out of a regiment as well, because that's life. I mean, life kicks us in the face, and we have to
Mm.
sidestep, and we have to jump back in and jump back out of things all the time. But you're
And
just
I
looking
think
at
as
me going,
well, like,
"That's not me."
I'm like, no. But I think as well, it's the topics that we've discussed over 70 episodes is, stuff that I mean, the reason we started this podcast is because we did have deep conversations like this. And we were like, this is worth sharing. Other people would love to join this conversation. Um, you know, it's like that thing from Devil Wears Prada. Oh, don't be silly. Everyone wants this. But it's more about, stuff that we are talking about. We're, having to find topics each week, and we're probably reading more books because, we want to upskill our knowledge so that we have good conversations to share with everyone. So in a way, it's supporting our improvement in ourselves.
And then we're trying to pass that on. And like you said, what we started it because we wanted to be also only 1 or 2 steps ahead of people, not million miles ahead of people. And at the moment, like I'm going to have some great stuff coming out of the fact that I'm getting used to having someone as a staff member, and how that changes my PAYE and my weekly habits that now have to be implemented to pay somebody and all those kind of things. So I'm excited to see kind of how like the first month or two kind of goes, and how that changes the outlook for me. So I have been taking note of the differences of what that looks like, just going from me in the salon to now two in the salon, having a staff member, what those outgoings look like, what those ingoings look like, what that fear looks like, what that joy looks like. I'm trying to note them all down. So I'll be able to kind of put it into a tidy little paragraph in the podcast for people who do work by themselves. Because we have a lot of people who do work by themselves that do follow us, because it's quite relatable with you working from home and me by myself in the salon. But now, of course, that dynamic has changed for me. So I am trying to keep note of it so that I'm able to kind of pass on to people how that feels and how that looks like, taking on someone if you're thinking about doing it, pros, cons, etc. And yeah, so I find that quite interesting. And it's obviously from my personal point of view. So, but I'm just going to bring it to the table when I'm ready to bring it to the table.
I know. Well, we kind of spoke about it in last week's episode about the whole process of hiring someone. But by God, I mean, this is probably the most strangling time of year for business owners anyway. Because, I mean, there was me like before the tax return, all flush and like, oh, I need to spend money. Like, what can I buy? Let's buy some hoodies. And, like just wanting to spend all my money because it was all piling up lovely. And then as soon as the tax return is done, it's like, right, a provisional payment done, pay the accountant, pay the GST. And I'm like suddenly going, oh my God, I've got no money again. Like,
Yeah.
how was I so flush like only 2 months ago?
Oh, it comes and it goes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it just fucking
But
disappears.
that's also kind of the planning thing of having a business, is knowing the high and low months so that you can prep for it. Like you did over Christmas, you did the discount on the salon vouchers so people could get a discount on getting their hair done. You knew that that would carry you through when you knew you were going to have some low months. So it's all about that planning and just, making sure that you do make note of it. Don't just ride the waves and be chaotic and survive. Write down, this month was really hard. My cash flow was low. So then, next year when you go to look at it or go to plan for your year or your quarter, you know what's coming. It's
Yeah.
not a shock, because I feel like I've been, have my business for over 5 years now, and I'm still shocked every
Yeah.
May and June. I'm like, oh my God, why have I got no money? And it's like every year at this time, you have no
Mm.
money.
Yeah. Yeah. You're dead right. You got to note that down all the time so that the year after you're not in the same situation, because that's just a big fat circle that's just going to keep on happening. Yeah. Because I'm
Mhm.
excited about some of the things that really worked last year and implementing them again, but um, utilizing the income from that to take the relief off the months, like you said, May and June.
I know. It's May, June. And I remember last year, August being tight, but I wasn't as prepared because obviously I'd just bought the house and everything was a bit behind. But this year, I am. And you know what? I heard this really awesome story this week. And seriously, it's the best marketing tactic that I think, has ever been created. Like, absolutely legendary. The Michelin stars, like restaurants that you get.
Yeah.
Do you know how that all came about?
No, I've
Because,
no
like
idea.
Michelin obviously is a tire
Yeah.
company. So it's like, why the hell would tires and restaurants be connected?
Oh, I never even put that. I
Um,
never even put that together.
well, yeah. And, even like the Michelin stars, it's got, the big tire marshmallow man. Um, and it actually came about because in the early 1900s, it was in France. Um, it was, what were their names? It was like Eduardo and Andre or something, Michelin, that started the company. But obviously, only rich people really had cars. So, you know, sales were quite slow. People didn't really use their cars to commute or, anything like that. They just used it to go to fancy dinners or. So they needed to encourage people to wear their tires out. So they decided to create a map, and on the map was like a journey, and on the journey was things like petrol stations and garages, but also restaurants worthy of stopping at. And I wrote it down because one star what was it? 1 star means it's worth a stop, 2 star means it's worth a detour, and 3 stars means it's worth a whole separate journey altogether. Because they wanted to encourage people to drive more, to wear out their tyres so that they'd need new tyres. So that's how the Michelin star came about. And it's so funny to think, when you're sitting in a posh restaurant, a Michelin star restaurant, eating this fancy food, it's all because two guys in the early 1900s just wanted you to drive more. Isn't it
That's
awesome? I love it.
that's insane. That's insane. I never knew that. Never put two and two together with Michelin. That's insane. And
Isn't
of
it? And
course, it
it's
just
so basic, but how clever. Because it
it's
worked.
so
And then it
clever.
obviously kicked off and people wanted to be a Michelin star.
That is out the gate.
Oh, I love that you love it because I was like such a geek when I heard this week, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!"
I don't even know what to say because that's so cool. I'm just really hoping that you're taking inspiration for that because we're going to your house for dinner tomorrow, and
Oh yes.
and I'm hoping that you're we are what hold on. We are actually doing it as three Michelin stars. What did you say? What was the third one? But you're actually
Oh,
intentionally
so it's worth a separate journey.
we are doing a separate journey for your Sunday roast tomorrow. So I'm
Yes,
expecting
you
three
are.
Michelin stars.
Oh, it definitely will be. I was doing some taste testing before you came in, and I had pigs in blankets, roasted and then covered in marmalade.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. So the taste testing is going well. We're not having a roast, but it's similar to a roast. I'm doing a lamb shank. It's a Welsh lamb shank casserole, with Yorkshire puddings and pigs in blankets, all the trimmings.
And you're going
It's
to
going to
have
be
like what,
heavenly.
3 or 4 Welsh there because we're going over with Sandra's parents who are Welsh.
Don't
And
forget
you'll
the
get
tea towels
new.
this time.
The tea towels are in the fucking car at the mechanics.
Oh, for God's sake!
I
The
just thought
journey of
about
these bloody tea towels.
oh, that is how messy my life is right now. Oh my god. I'm just gonna go to your house, eat the food, and fall asleep with the cats in front of the fire. Like that's what
Yeah.
tomorrow looks like. Yeah.
Oh, that would be heaven.
I'm so excited.
Um,
Pigs in blanket, gone in marmalade, lamb shanks in a casserole. I mean, you're gonna be up at the crack of fucking dawn getting that sorted.
I know.
Amazing.
But it's been a fun day, and yeah, I've basically, because there's going to be 8 of us, so I've had to swap my dining room table for the garden table so that we can all sit around one table. And yeah, just taking that apart, moving 2 tables in and out the house and the garage and the garden, and oh my god, my body today. I was
Oh,
like, do you know what? I mean, I've been saying I want to go on holiday and I need a retreat, but by God, after today, like sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, because it's freezing as well. So I was out there shivering while trying to
mm,
take this table down so I could get it in the house with ease because it's quite heavy. It's a massive table. Um, and doing it on your own, like these are the things when you live on your own that you really do realize that it's like, God, I just wish there was someone else here just to pick up the other side because it's really hard to maneuver this massive freaking table.
but someone else might have
But
waited
yeah,
for us to get there, but you want the place to look amazing for us to walk in, right?
of course. I want
Yeah.
you all to walk in and be like, wow, and just instantly grab a drink and we're all chatting. Like, because I was thinking, I was like, God, shall I put the Christmas tree up? We could do a mid
Oh
Christmas.
my god.
It
Oh my
depends
god.
how
Do
long it
not
takes
do
me
that.
to edit this tonight because I haven't got time in the morning. So if I have time tonight, I'll get the Christmas tree out.
All right, Liz. It's such a Liz thing to do. Liz is my mother for anyone who misses the comments about the fact that Charlotte is Liz and Liz is Charlotte. And
Yeah.
this is how different we are. I would have just waited for everyone to arrive and been like, right, let's set the table up. It's outside. We need to get it in. I
That's all done the day before, so that as well, when
oh,
everyone
well
gets
done.
there, I'm not doing stuff. Like when you all arrive, I want to hang out with you, and so all the food will be ready and done.
Mm,
The table is set. We can all just enjoy each other's company because I want to enjoy the day as well. Like
of
years, I watched
course.
my mum slaving over a stove while we were all like, I remember even like a few years we on Christmas Day she was in the kitchen cooking, and we'd all go down the pub, like, to have a few drinks before dinner. And, I don't want to be that. I want to be in the fun.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Well, my body's absolutely broken to smithereens at the moment as well. But I actually do have my retreat coming up next week.
Oh,
I
I
know.
know. Do you know what? And I'm really
Mm.
regretting saying I didn't want to, because you asked me to come with you. And I was like, I'm not wasting my money on that. And now I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was coming.
It's $888, and that is for everything: the food, the accommodation, the mushies, the whole
Was
kit and
that it?
caboodle.
I'm sure it was more than that.
Yeah, but they're after bringing it down now to only 2 nights because their feedback from the last few retreats were very much all about the psychedelics. So they're actually leaning
Hmm.
more into that now, which I'm fucking stoked about. I don't need to be doing yoga for 3 days. Like, I just want to go knee deep into opening up my fucking portal of my brain and get off my fucking tits while someone is meditating me through it. Like, that is amazing.
I wonder if there's any spaces and I can join.
Yeah, do you know what? I reckon there is. You're not going to believe it. I've got the two Casey ladies coming with me from Casey Clinic, Queenstown. I've got two clients and one hairdresser from
Oh
Queenstown
my
as well.
God, you're like filling up the retreat.
Sure am.
Can you message them and see if there's any space? I am tempted.
Yeah. Oh my
Although
God,
saying
that'd
that,
be.
I've got no bloody money. All my money's been cleared out. Like,
Well, listen, I'll send you the details. Have a read over it. See if it tickles your fancy. And then just go from there. That's what we'll do. I'm so unbelievably excited. I'm starting to get those pains back in from my my when I get run down, I get those pains through my muscles. And I'm starting to kind of get them in the last day or two. So I am excited to chill the fuck out. And do you remember last week I was saying about the card reader said about me being, another person saying about clairvoyancy? Well, I was telling one of my really close clients today because she goes to see the same lady in Cromwell, and we have gone for readings together. And obviously, I've told her before that like every reading is about me. Like, it's always brought up about clairvoyancy. So I said to her today, I was like, got my cards read. It was said again. And we started talking about it. And then the bulb over our heads just exploded. Like,
no.
yeah, I'm cutting her hair. We're chatting about it. And then we were kind of like getting knee deep into it. And next thing was like right over our heads, the light that's over my section just exploded. Like the light just
Wow.
went poof and gone. And we were all like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It was just perfect timing to freak the hell out of all of us inside in the salon.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But I just thought I'd throw that in there after I said that last week because I kind of dismissed it last week, and obviously I have no idea either this week. But I just think that's really mental that happened. And for the retreat, I'm kind of curious about what may come out or what might happen. Or, yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about the psychedelics. I have to admit. Are you?
I know.
Is that
That's why
so?
you booked it.
Yeah, yeah, like totally. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I'm excited to chill out at that retreat. And Sandra's parents will have flown out by then, so it's not like I'm going away when there's still family visiting. So yeah, it's they leave,
Yeah.
I go on my
And
retreat.
and if you want to tune into Gráinne's spiritual, well, what is it? Like meditation vibe, I suppose.
Mm.
Join the Manifest Challenge, because at the end you get the bonus opportunity to join her with some EFT tapping, and you get lifetime access to this amazing video of working through gratitude and abundance with Gráinne O'Connor.
I love the gratitude one because I do think whenever you're stuck with making a decision, just always revert back to gratitude for what you've already got. And usually the answer comes from that. I love me a little bit of EFT tapping.
You definitely do. So yeah, join the challenge. We keep saying it, and we've had loads of people finishing up this week, which has been incredible, the feedback that we've had from everyone. So we're really pleased that everyone's loved it and feeling it. And yeah, they're all on to the EFT tapping now to continue the journey.
Actually,
And
I,
yeah.
I bumped into a girl I used to work with in the car park. I was going for dinner in Queenstown, and she came over to me and she gave me a big hug. And her mother always listens to us, and she's like, "Oh my god, I was over at Mom's house, and she's got this big blackboard, and she's doing some kind of manifesting challenge, and she made me write these goals down, and she made me write these things down under her manifestations,
Oh
and
wow.
she was like, 'What are you all doing?' And I was like, 'Doesn't matter, Ellie. Just write it down. Please your mother. And if you want to
Oh,
know
does
more,
Ellie's mum listen?
yeah, Ellie's mom is
Oh,
like, she's
I love
doing the
that.
challenge.
Hi.
Yeah, she's such a cool chick. But she's doing the challenge, and I love that she was like, write it down. I love that she got someone else involved within her board.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she's doing it for
Declare
her
it.
daughter. Yes, declare it. That's what I said to Ellie. I was like, yes, I love that your mother got you to declare it. And Ellie, of course, was just like, oh my God, you're all mad.
Oh my God, I love that. That's brilliant. Oh, do
Yeah,
you know what?
so
It's
good.
just, and don't forget, send us your stories if you've bought something ridiculous on marketplace, or anywhere. Like, just we want to hear your stories. We want to share them, and we want to start getting, as part of a new winter theme, we want to start getting our listeners involved. So send us your funny stories, and we'll read them out.
Yeah. What did you get timid?